My definition for design is sort of hope made visible. And I like that definition a lot because it means that it's about sort of being able to create things that make a person's life or their family or their community a better place. So the designer is crucial, I think, in that equation because they're really good. The really good designers are really powerful at sort of imagining future scenarios, putting their hand in the future and pulling stuff out of their imaginations that could be potential futures and say, is this the future that we want to live in? This is what it could look like. So we're really good at imagining physically, experientially, tangibly, what future scenarios could look like, because we can make them. And you can bring them into an audience, you can bring them out, you can bring them into a conference room, and you can imagine, you can make the future arrive 10 to 15 to 20 years early, because you can show them physically what it's going to look like. So designers can give us more choices about what that future could look like. And I think that's, with so much change going on and the acceleration sort of that's unfolding, I think that's a really important skill. It's an important skill now, it will be an important skill 20 years from now. The ability to imagine different scenarios for the way we want to live 10, 15 years from now. Designers tend to be focused on, they're driven, usually the best ones, by how do people react to what I've done? How do people engage with what I've made so they can learn, fix their work, and put it back in the world again. So the ability to create solutions that inspire people, really inspire people. That kind of information is really important feedback from designers because they want to know, did you understand it? Was it inspiring? Would you act on it? Would you want to engage with it again? So that's the protocol around digital technology, web presence. I think designers, because they're so focused on behavior and so focused on understanding how people react in systems and in objects and with products, I think they're uniquely suited for this environment, more so than people who are just interested in getting a communication message out. Designers are really interested in empathy and feedback to make sure their work is inspiring to people. Brands are always a combination of authenticity and cultural congruence, which is what's most true to what the brand believes and what people are looking for that they can't find. So at the intersection of those two things is where we like to live. The ideas usually come out of the story of the brand, and if it's an existing brand, there's usually an incredible legacy that we go back through. A narrative legacy, the founder's legacy, there's usually a visual legacy, a product design legacy that we try to tap and find out what has been most true about this brand over time, and what is it that people most love, and what's the thing that has been perennial about this that's almost mythic, and what do we pull out of that story that we can reinvent and re-express for people today. And so the ideas usually come out of that dialogue usually come out of dialogue with our clients. And so what we usually find is when you do that, the ability to pull ideas out of a company's mythology or their past, clients are usually able to see them more quickly. And so we've been able to produce some remarkable things like, years ago, the Hershey store, or the work that we did at Ogilvy when we designed the Mattel flagship store in Shanghai. All comes out of the history of that brand. When you start digging into a company's history, and you start looking at, sort of do like brand archaeology, you can usually find amazing stories. One of the things that we've done, I find interesting, if you're working with established brands, is you go back and find the roots of the brand. And you can usually find it in the papers of incorporation, or you can usually find it in the information in the U.S. Patent Office. You literally say what their ambition was to create when they first started out. And usually the truth of the company, you can usually see it in the foundation. One of the things I love about, say, Walt Disney, is as big as that company got, and as powerful as it's become. Now known, it's one of the largest, networks, television networks and media networks. Walt Disney would always say, never forget that this company was built, underneath it all is a mouse. And what that actually means in my mind is not that it's a mouse. It's Disney's core talent is that they create characters that you can fall in love with. And that's not family fun, it's not wholesomeness, it's literally, Disney is brilliant. More than anybody else, they create characters and stories that you can empathize with and care about and love. And so the truth that it's a company that's built on a mouse is actually the exact truth of why I think they've become successful. So I'm babbling a bit, but the point I'm looking for is every brand has a story at the heart of it that is as simple as that. And you find out what that is, and then you, you find out what that story is, and you start creating around that story, you start visualizing, and you start to see what happens. The tumblers all start to unlock, and all sorts of possibilities and ideas usually come out of finding that story that's most authentic to them.